I recently posted on social media, both on my Instagram feed and my Facebook page, these 10 things that will make your day better. But after I posted it, I took a little time to reflect and realized that not only will these things make your day better, they will make your life better. They are simple, they are straightforward, and you can implement many, if not all of them, right now, or as soon as you finish listening to this talk. And they will change your perspective. They will change how you are thinking. They will change how you're feeling. And if you are intentional about implementing them regularly, they will change your life. I know for me, when I have been and when I am intentional about practicing each of these, it changes everything. And so I want to share them with you, and I think that you are going to love them too. If you're new here, welcome to our incredible little corner on the internet. Take a second to introduce yourself in the comment section below. If you are back again, it is always good to have you. Say hello. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. The button's about right down there. And either way, my name is Kristina, and I am a registered clinical therapist, a researcher, a coach, and the creator of my incredible membership community that many of you here watching right now are a part of, the Shift Society. And this is the program that's going to teach you step by step how to change how you think and feel and show up in your life every single day. It truly, I don't say it lightly, it is life-changing. As cliche as it sounds, it really is. And you can get more information about that in the description below. I help heart-centered humans break through the crap that is holding them back so they can like themselves and their lives more every day. And now these 10 simple things that we are going to talk about, don't underestimate them, because although they are simple, they are not only going to make you feel better in this moment when you do them, but they are also going to make your life better when you're intentional about practicing them regularly. Some of them I'm going to do with you right now in real time, and some of them you can take away and practice afterwards. But either way, I do want to invite you to pick one or two that you're going to be intentional about doing regularly. Don't try to do them all, because what's going to happen is if you're like, okay, I need to do all of these every single day, all the time, your brain is going to throw up a bunch of drama and be like, this is too hard, it's too overwhelming, you can't possibly, you don't have enough time. Let's just forget the whole thing. Right? Instead of being like, I'm going to do a little bit, manage my expectations, and I'm going to do a little bit that is doable and actually implement it versus put all these expectations on myself to do it perfectly and to do it all and then end up doing nothing, and then everybody loses. So one or two, I'd even love to hear in the comment section below, which couple of these are you going to be intentional about doing more regularly and then be able to reap all the rewards from it. So now, the first one that we are going to do together in real time is, I want you to take a second now and I want you to think about someone in your life that you either love or value or respect, or all three of those. And I want you to think about something that you deeply appreciate about them. What is it that you appreciate about them? Is it how they treat you? How they unapologetically live their lives? Is it about something that inspires you about them? What is it? What do you appreciate about that person? Take a second. And now I want to invite you to turn that same appreciation inward. And I want to invite you to think about something that you appreciate about yourself. Is it your resilience? Is it your resourcefulness? Is it your determination? Is it your kindness, your patience, your strength, your love? What is it that you appreciate about yourself? Is it that you are really good at getting yourself back up when you fall down, even though you don't feel like it, you do? Is it your hunger to learn and to grow and to expand, which is why you are here in the first place? What is it that you appreciate about yourself? Is it your ability to create beautiful art just from the depths of your own kind of imagination? Is it your ability to follow through on things that you commit to? Is it your intelligence? Is it your propensity to think deeply about things and to contemplate and to reflect, to put together ideas? What is it that you appreciate about yourself? Let me know in the comment section below. The next thing that is going to make your life better, if you do this regularly, is to give something freely to someone else without strings attached and without expectation of anything in return. Interestingly enough, this is what the research shows as one of the most profound things that's going to have the biggest impact on your overall happiness, is your ability to contribute to somebody else's life in a helpful, positive, or meaningful way. And being able to do that. Now, I'm not saying run yourself ragged, stress yourself out, run around trying to do everything for everyone else all the time to the point that you are exhausted and depleted, maybe even a little resentful because you're doing so much. I'm not talking about that. That's not sustainable. That doesn't actually feel good. But looking for opportunities on a regular basis. It can be as simple as holding the door for the person walking behind you. It can be about, sending a friend a text to just check in and see how they're doing. It can be about sending flowers to one of your former professors or teachers to be like, hey, that person made an impact on my life. I'm going to send them some flowers or like a fruit basket. I don't know if they still even do fruit basket. It sounds kind of 80s, doesn't it? But doing something, sending them a card, telling them how the impact that they made on your life. If it's just about calling up a friend and saying, how are you doing? What's going on? Whatever that is, something freely and generously without expectation of anything in return. And really just watching this, because sometimes we do things, right? We do things because we're expecting someone to do it back for us, and then we're sitting there waiting and wondering when and how they will. And it's true that in a lot of our close relationships, they are meant to be interactional, right? Both people are giving. It can't just be one person giving all the time, one person taking all the time, because that is a lopsided relationship. That's not a healthy relationship. But in some of these other circumstances, just looking for opportunities to do something nice for someone that they are going to appreciate, that's going to be meaningful for them, and just doing that. I would love to even hear what's one thing that you could do right now, one simple thing that you could do that would contribute to someone else's life in some way, even if it's really small, understanding that even the small things often really mean a lot to people. Would love to hear that in the comment section below. The next thing, some of y'all are going to hate me for saying this, but it's important. Do something that you've been avoiding. Get off your butt, get going, make it happen. Something that you've been procrastinating, that you've been putting aside, something that's important to you, that you actually want to do, but your brain, right? That kind of primitive part of your brain that's trying to conserve energy and keep you from expending any kind of energy so that in case your camp gets invaded with a herd of elephants, you can run out of there as quickly as possible, right? Overriding that kind of energy conserving, sometimes lazy part of your brain with the conscious part of your brain that's like, I want to do this because it's important to me, because it's a step in the direction I want to be going, because it's moving towards a goal or a dream that I have, because it's fulfilling a commitment that I made, because it's going to contribute to my life overall in a more positive way, in a more helpful way, even if I don't totally feel like it right now. Do it. Instead of spending all of the energy that you have talking yourself out of it, trying to talk yourself into it, trying to find out ways to avoid it, trying to find excuses to not do it, just stop thinking, start doing, go to it. Get it done. You are going to feel better. We put so much energy into avoiding and procrastinating so much more energy than it would take to actually sit down and do it. And when we are doing the things, fulfilling the promises, fulfilling the commitments, taking action and steps towards the things that are important to us, we get to feel good. So do something right now and let me know what that was. After you do it, come back here in the comment section. Let me know. What was that thing? Let all of us know. It will inspire the people around you too. When you see other people doing it, you'll be like, okay, they're doing it. All right, I guess I'm going to do it too. I don't want to be left out. I want to be the only one that's sitting here, battling my own brain, trying to keep myself talked out of it. Just going to do it. The next thing, forgive yourself. It's time. You have punished yourself enough. You have shamed yourself enough. You have lived in enough regret. It's okay to forgive yourself. What happened in the past is as gone as ancient Rome. You don't have to keep yourself hostage in it. You can forgive yourself for that, and you can live intentionally right now, today. You can't change what happened before right now. But you can be intentional and purposeful with what you do right now, with what you create right now, with the choices you make right now, with how you live right now. It's okay to forgive yourself. And on that note, forgive that person. It's time. You have punished yourself enough with your bitterness and your resentment and your anger. And I say punished yourself because it's so much more punishing to ourselves when we are not forgiving someone than it is to them. We are the ones who suffer more. Yeah, they might be suffering as well, especially if you have cut them off or cut them out and, refuse to allow them in your life. That's probably hurtful for them, but it's probably even more hurtful and painful for you. And I'm not saying that forgiveness means that you have to invite that person back into your life fully and freely. Absolutely not. If they are not trustworthy, if they are not safe, then no. But you can still forgive them and not create space for them in your life. But you can create space for that forgiveness within yourself, and that is going to free you up so much. So to stop keeping yourself in the pain and struggle of the resentment, of the anger, and to forgive them, release yourself from that. We forgive for others, but we also forgive even more for our own mental and emotional freedom. You deserve that from you. The next thing is to notice something small right now that you're grateful for. We did this exercise recently in the Shift Society, and it came on the heels of my own experience. We recently went through a big heat wave here on the West Coast. In Vancouver and the surrounding area, we had this big heat wave. It was very hot for several days. And we don't have air conditioning. A lot of people in the city don't have air conditioning because we're near the water, and usually there's enough coolness off the water air that keeps the temperature moderate. We get some super hot weather usually for a couple weeks in the summer, and then, all the fans are sold out and all the portable air conditioners are sold out, but we don't have one of those. So, it was hot and it was uncomfortable. And I got tired of having a fan blowing on my face pretty much 24/7 and not feeling I could fully take a deep, full cleansing, fresh breath, that it was hot and heavy and humid. And I'm going to stop going on about it because, there's a lot of things that could have been a lot worse about it. But it was difficult for a few days. And it made me really appreciate being able to breathe freely in more moderate temperature. This thing that I take for granted, that I overlook, that I don't take the time to really notice and be grateful for, being able to breathe easily. And so doing that regularly. What's one small thing right now that you are grateful for that you often overlook? We did this in the Shift Society, and the engagement and involvement in this, doing this exercise, was huge, and it was beautiful. All the things that people were pulling out. That for me, it actually deepened my experience as well, because I was like, oh yeah, that is something that I really often take for granted, but it's small because it's like this thing that, everyday thing, but it's actually huge, like clean running water, like a refrigerator to preserve my food, like food in the fridge that I can have anytime, a comfortable bed, a safe home, family and friends, having, love in my life. There were so many things that people talked about. Being able to do this work, to have better, to think better, to feel better. Even a lot of people were talking about being really grateful for being in the Shift Society and having that community and having the tools to be able to walk through to create better for themselves. So what's one thing that you might often overlook that you are grateful for right now? And then our next one is to let yourself be imperfect. Enough with the idea that you need to be or become or achieve or accomplish or look like or have something else before you can feel good enough. Perfectionism is a lie. Perfect is a desire we all have, but a destination that does not exist. And so essentially we are torturing ourselves trying to get something or somewhere that is not the answer and actually is an illusion because it doesn't exist. It's the promise that keeps on whispering in our ear and the fulfillment that cannot be achieved. Perfect is a lie. Letting yourself be who you are, what you are, where you are now. Now, this doesn't to say that we're not still learning and growing and moving forward and expanding and experiencing, but not because we have some illusion that we are finally going to feel good enough if we do. Good enough is an inside job. Feeling good enough does not exist on anything being a certain way on the outside. It is a decision. It is not a destination. And so we learn and we grow and expand because that gives us a more rich and rewarding and fulfilling human experience while we're here, but not under the illusion that we are going to finally feel good enough if we perfect, please, and perform in all of these ways on the outside. Let yourself be imperfect. You are human. You are a human being, not a human perfect. It does not exist. And on that note, let other people be imperfect. I know people tick us off. They annoy us. They don't always do what we want to do when we want them to do it, how we want them to do it. But having some grace for other people in their imperfections. That most of the time, most people are doing the best they can with what they've got, and they are doing things for themselves, not against you. They are kind of trying to keep their own head above water. Most of the time, they are not trying to drown you in the process. And so letting other people be imperfect, letting other people be human beings. And the beautiful thing is that this has this sort of transactional relationship where the more we give ourselves grace to be imperfect beings, still loving and accepting ourselves, the more we just automatically we give other people the same grace and understanding, and vice versa. The more you kind of let other people be imperfect beings and accepting them and not expecting them to achieve these standards that you think that they should, the more you're able to give that to yourself. Let yourself be imperfect. Let others be imperfect. And the next one, listen to yourself. Trust yourself. Stop ignoring, rejecting, and neglecting yourself. You have value. You know what's right for you. You know what makes sense for you. You know what's not okay with you. Trust that. Listen to that. Honor that. If you struggle to trust yourself, struggle to truly just listen and have that clarity, then it's probably because you haven't built that trust within yourself. It's not something that always happens automatically. Self-trust is built. Just like in any relationship that we have with other people, trust is built. And if you want to learn how to build that from the inside, then you can grab my Simple Steps to Self-Trust guide. The link to that is in the description, and you can get started on learning how to trust yourself more. Our relationship with ourselves is the most important relationship in our lives. Other relationships are absolutely important. They're very important, but you are the only person who has to live with you from the day you were born until the day you die. So you better believe that having a good, solid relationship with yourself is going to make a big difference in how you experience the short time that sometimes feels like a long time, but ultimately a short time on this planet. And so grab that Simple Steps to Self-Trust. And you can also get on the waitlist for the Shift Society. The description for that, the link to that is in the description below. Get the Simple Steps to Self-Trust while you're waiting for the Shift Society to open. Get started on that. That is going to be extremely helpful for you, and really start to change how you think and feel about yourself. These little things that we often don't realize will make a big difference when we are intentional about practicing them and implementing them in our everyday lives. So let me know, which one did you do with me here today? Which one are you going to start integrating into your daily life? One or two, not more than that. Start with those, go from there. Would love to hear that in the description below. Simple Steps to Self-Trust, waitlist for the Shift Society. Let me know thoughts, feedback, things that connected for you, what you're going to plan, your intentions, what you're going to do, what you're going to plan on doing moving forward from here in the comment section below. It is always good to have you here. And until next time, take good care.